Hi guys, welcome back to New Dram Drinker. We are yet again in the whiskey corner. I've got another kind of special whiskey that I want to review for you today. Watch this cinematic and then we'll get right on with it. Okay, so as you saw from that little cinematic, it is the Blanton's Gold Edition. When I did my last video of the Blue Label, I'd mentioned that it was for my daughter's wedding, that we were going to drink at the end of the night, and it was because, you know, there was a lot of non-whiskey drinkers there, but most non-whiskey drinkers know Blue Label anyway. Well, there was another option, and this was it. It's an iconic bottle again. And I just thought that the Blue Label probably hit the note a little bit more of a whiskey that non-whiskey drinkers would know. I do know some whiskey drinkers who don't know what this is, so that kind of made me steer towards the Blue Label. I love this bottle, to be honest. It's a great bottle, and I think, talking of the bottle, we should get right on with that now. Okay, so the bottle, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I am a big sucker for a nice bottle, and I don't get a lot better than this, to be honest. I mean, it's such a it's a shape that I don't see it anywhere else. It's not, you know, some bottles you can like, but you'll see kind of similar bottles elsewhere. I mean, I might be wrong, so if there are other ones that have got a similar kind of shape to this, let me know, because I'd love to know, but I haven't seen any of myself. The biggest thing in these is the cork with the horse and the jockey, and they all have different stages through the race, so you can collect them. And they also have a little letter on the back, then you can collect the Blanton's name. There is a lot of different kind of collector's plaques that you can get, that you can put the corks in and like have the whole selection of them. So I'll bring a few pictures up here and you can see some of the different ones they are. It's a great looking set, to be honest, and just if you are a collector, like I think most of us whiskey drinkers are, we do have a good collection, don't we? It just plays into that. It's a very good kind of marketing ploy, if you want to. But yeah, the little T on there, awesome. I'll try and get them all if I can, but I think it's probably a little bit hard to get these days. Decent price as well. I think it was about £100 around here at the moment. I know it can fluctuate again, like the Blue Label. I'm sure you can find it in places a lot cheaper. I think I've seen it for about £76 in our local store. But I didn't buy it because I was just a little bit unsure at the time. This was probably about 12 months ago. But yeah, it is a stunning bottle, and I am really happy I have got one on the shelf. Okay, so onto the colour. It is a gorgeous, rich kind of bronze colour. I mean, it really is. There's almost a tinge of kind of red in there as well. It's like a rosé kind of colour. It is a very pleasant colour, and we know it's natural, so it's you know, you can appreciate it for what it is. Yeah, really stunning colour, and the legs on it are long, but they are very, I don't know if you can actually see that on the camera, they are very thin and long legs, rather than the whole kind of, when you get that kind of wave around the glass, sometimes it kind of all comes down all in kind of big chunky legs. This one is very much thin, long legs. It is very, very nice indeed. Okay, so the nose. I'm looking forward to this one, to be honest. I've got high hopes for it, so let's go. Okay, so instantly you obviously get the bourbon note. It's got all the caramels, the vanillas, the raisins. You know, we don't need to go over this. We know that those are the kind of notes you get with a bourbon. It's got a decent ABV on it. I think it is if I can find it here for you, it is 51.5%. So it's a hefty ABV, to be honest, but it doesn't come across like that on the nose. It's very forgiving. You know, you can have some ABVs where it's just kind of all that, kind of hides the notes, but this is almost, you can tell it's there, but it's very forgiving. I've got a little bit of, there's some burnt caramel there. There's a little bit of like, it's like summertime. It's like that cut grass, and like the, you know, when the grass has been cut and then it's like a really summer's day and it's kind of gone that yellow colour, and it's got that fresh kind of really summery kind of feel to it. It's a very pleasant nose. Fruit, dark fruit. It's almost like as if you had got raisins. I think I've said this before, and you've let them soak in the whiskey and they've gone, you know, they soak up all that moisture and they plump up and they go really juicy, then you bite into them and they go explode in your mouth. It gives you that kind of feeling. Just as I was going in on those, I got a little bit of sawdust as well. A little bit of, almost like a pine bookcase with like old leather books on it, but a bit musty as well, so you got a bit of that dust, you know, like the it's like just like an old library, like an old bookcase. Makes it sound horrible, doesn't it? But it's actually a really nice nose. I'm going to go to my notes I've been taking all week, because I have been trying this. Sticky treacle, bourbon notes, caramel, vanilla, sugars. It's rich. Maraschino cherries. I think that was, it goes back to the raisins being soaked. You know, the maraschino cherries that are, they're really plump and just juicy. I do love them, I must admit. I put them in my Scotch Negronis and they are awesome. Considering the ABV, it's very smooth on the nose to start. I still agree with that. Fruits, enticing, which is one of the best things a nose can be, to be honest. It's the start of the journey, isn't it, of the whiskey, so that's one nice thing. Thin legs, which we've already gone into. As it breathes, the ABV shows itself a bit more, and strawberries, apricots appear, and seems to get more fruitier as it breathes. So let's, now it's had a little bit more time to breathe. Let's go and, yeah, I mean, I definitely get that, but I would say that now, just leaving it to air for a little bit and then going straight back in, I almost got a little bit more of like a dirt kind of note. It's very, very kind of, it's a very interesting nose and just makes you really want to drink it. So I am going to move on to the palate. Let's go. Okay, so initially the ABV isn't as forgiving on the palate as it is on the nose. It lets you know it's there, which I like, to be honest, because I do like a higher ABV whiskey. The only other thing that I get as well is that along with that ABV, it's almost got a creaminess to it, so it's a lot thicker. It's almost like the treacle on the nose has got that texture coming through into the palate, and it's a really nice texture, to be honest. I really do enjoy it. I don't get that very often, not to this level of kind of velvetiness and kind of, it's almost, it might sound really silly, but it's like a peach, you know, that the furry peach skin. It's like that velvety kind of smooth, fruity kind of, really, really nice, really nice palate. So the ABV is there, but it's not hiding all the fruits, all the subtleties that are in there, all the raisins and the vanilla and the caramel again, obviously the bourbon notes, they go through the whole kind of whiskey. It's very, you can tell there's a lot going on, and it makes you want to drink it and to explore it a little bit more and to kind of give it a little bit more time. And I've definitely got there's a few spices going on, maybe a touch of cinnamon, like just like almost like the cinnamon and the caramel are almost mixed together into a really nice kind of combination. But it's almost like it's taken all of those different flavours and put it into like a saucepan and mixed it up, like you know when you melt butter, then it goes into that like creamy, then it goes into the caramelised, you add the sugar in, it goes all caramelised. It's almost like that in a glass. It's really, really nice. It seems to be getting a little bit more sugary, a bit more sweet. It's almost like the ABV has almost died down now. It's probably because my palate's got used to it, and the fruits are all coming through. There's a lot of like raisins, darker fruits, maybe like berries are coming through now, blueberries, blackberries. It's like I'm like envisaging like a forest, and you've got all like the berries and the kind of bushes, and it's just a lovely. It's going back to the nose where I said it was like the summer, but now you're kind of into the forest and the bushes, and you've got all that wild kind of berries going on. Really, really nice. I'm going to go to my notes. High AB hits you at first, and I was worried that I wasn't going to get much else. Yeah, I mean, maybe not to that extent. You can tell the ABV's there, like I've already said, but it does kind of let you in. You know, it doesn't kind of lock you out. Once your palate has acclimatised, it opens up. Creamy, brown sugar, toffee, spices, burnt note. It's the burnt raisins on bread and butter pudding. And the one note that I've put here is coffee, which I haven't got this time. I would maybe say, rather than coffee now, I'm maybe getting a bit of chocolate. I would say that's probably more the note. I can probably understand why I got the two kind of mixed up. But yeah, I would say bitter chocolate this time. Cinnamon, agreed. Leather, goes back to the bookcase. Bourbon note is there, but it's harder to differentiate the different bourbon notes. Probably disagree with myself there a little bit, because I think now I'm drinking it I can kind of pick all the different notes up. And pepper, only a slight touch. It's nowhere near the Blue Label pepper. It's an element of the whiskey, and it's part of the whiskey, not all it's got, which is what the problem I had with Blue Label, to be honest. So yeah, awesome yeah, palate. I really do enjoy this, to be honest. It's that creaminess at the start. It's so kind of puddingy and creamy and like warm, and it makes you want to drink more, which is brilliant, isn't it? Okay, so the finish, and I'm actually really glad I've still got the finish to do, because I get to drink some more, so you can kind of get an idea where this review is going, can't you? So the finish. That creaminess is just sublime, to be honest. Okay, so the ABV hangs around. It's been there from kind of, the nose wasn't so ABV, but you could tell it was there. It was just nice enough. It just let you know it was there. Then the palate, it was there at the forefront. Now it's just kind of carrying through into the finish, but still, again, not to the point where it's overpowering any of the flavours. Bourbon notes are still there at the start of the finish, but they kind of peter out quite quickly and then just leave the ABV and the spices and like some of the, like almost like the burnt caramel, and it just gets a little bit more. I'd say the finish is sweet, then peters down into spices, and then just finishes off with like the ABV, just that kind of alcohol. So I'd say it's a long finish, but it's not a constant long finish, if you know what I mean. It just kind of gets a little bit lesser as it goes, but it's still very nice. It's still a lovely finish. So I suppose we should award this thing. think you kind of all know where it's going, don't you? This is awesome. Full disclosure, I'm not a massive bourbon fan, so even though I did really want to try this and I was looking forward to trying it, I've always got that in the back of my mind that I'm not a bourbon kind of, the bourbon notes that you always get aren't my favourite notes. It's kind of, I don't necessarily go and buy a bourbon unless there's a reason to. And the reason why we've got this was because a friend gave it to us. I think he knew that we kind of wanted a bottle. He had a few bottles of it, to be honest, and gave us one because I'd helped him out with a few things in the past. And yeah, I'm glad he did, to be honest, because this is awesome. I mean, it is a really, really lovely dram. I would happily replace the bottle or collect more of it. And yeah, I mean, you can't say any fairer than that, can you? So I wasn't a massive bourbon fan, and now I'm kind of back in the saddle with it. So going with the horse theme. So the award I'm giving it is I'm back in the saddle. So that is awesome. So on that note, I thoroughly recommend it. If it's a bottle that's been on your list for a while, that you've looked at, that you fancy, give it a go. It's expensive, I know that, so you know it is definitely something that some of us have to save up for a little while to get. So, but I would say personally, I would spend my own hard-earned money on this and collect some more of them. So I can't really say any further than that, can I? Thank you for watching. As ever, we love your comments. We love having people subscribe because it shows us that you're enjoying our videos and that we're doing something right. At least, you know, we need some kind of, you know, feedback to know that we're doing something right. And join our club, join our COs, join our, you know, we love to have people joining our club. It's gaining momentum now. We've got about 150 members, and it's really good to see. It's really nice. We love chatting with you in our kind of Discord chat, and it's just a bit more close and personal, and we do really love that. As we say always here on New Dram Drinker, I've got a little touch left. I should probably top the glass up, but I won't. I'll let you get off. Pour it, drink it, enjoy it. Okay, so the bottle. If you've seen any of my future videos, you will notice that
Can I just stop you there? My future videos?